You know, the hardest thing for me is to realize that a game that I honestly wanted to try and make videos as much as I could, do live streams as often as I could, and just so many other aspects to this particular game, and only to really have the realization that the game may just die by the end of this year, and it just feels like as much as you want to promote it and talk about it, it feels useless for multiple different reasons. Quake Champions is a game that I've been excited to play since I ever got to play the closed beta, and its announcement back in, I think, 2016 was when they announced it, and then 2017 was when I was able to first touch the game. And I personally gave the game a lot of good thoughts, besides problems, especially the monetization, loot boxes, and everything like that. But I love the character design, I love the abilities, I love the map designs. I like the fact that Blood Covenant was a reference to camping grounds from Quake 3 Arena, and as well as them bringing back Longest Yard into the game. And so I've just been excited to see what the future holds for this. But as time goes on, it really seems like they just haven't really been paying attention too much, and it also seems like the market just doesn't want it. It seems like things like Apex Legends that came out recently, and also the existence of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Fortnite and a lot of those other games seem to be grabbing more people's attention than a game that would bring back the classic arena shooter that people grew up like myself back in the 90s with things like Doom, Quake, Duke Nukem. And as much as I want to give this game good praise, I also am just not happy with what they've been doing. The fact that it takes them 3 months at a time just to do big updates, which also includes server updates, is not a good thing to me. I can understand if it's a content update, like a new map or a new game type or a new champion, but when it takes them 3 months just to update basic things like graphical fixes, making sure people are not having crashing issues, which happens almost every 3 months they do an update. I've had situations where my game has crashed as well, and instead of them just doing these server updates or graphical updates like every couple of weeks, they rather just wait for that as a one big patch bomb. And that to me is not a good idea. At least Warframe has to do their updates at least every 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so, and then they do their big content drop, which happens every once in a while, but they at least try to do an update every 2 weeks or so, at least from my experiences. And that's something I think they really need to pick up on, is just try to keep the game updated in some way. You know, fix the netcode, because the netcode is a big deal where sometimes where people are shooting is not where they're actually shooting. And maybe it's something that's very hard to fix minutely, but it's always frustrating when it looks like they're lightning on laser is not even touching me, but it is touching me because of reasons. Like, there's situations like that sucks. And I know some people, you know, most people who grew up playing Quake 3 Arena and Unreal Tournament kind of are staying away from it, I would feel like. I definitely know one YouTuber I like to watch named Rocket Jump Ninja. He definitely doesn't really like playing it. He tends to stream Quake Live, Clan Arena more so. I've noticed that he's been dropping off of the game often, more often and stuff like that, which is fine. You know, everyone has their own decisions. And for me, like, after I did my December update video where they changed the progression system and got rid of the loot boxes, although they still kept the recruiting system for some weird reason, and I criticized it and everything like that. Which, thank you to everyone who watched that video, because it reached 1,000 views, which is the biggest thing I've ever seen, although I feel like it was because I uploaded the video just around the time it updated, and Frothy at the time, who was a Quake Champions partner and stuff, he didn't put a video out at the time, so I think mine just got attention. But still, thank you to everyone who watched my video and took the time out of that. But like, after the December update, I really criticized the progression system and how it felt like they strong-arm players, and it felt like that players had to spend real money to get these champions, because the only way you got shards is by completing the weekly challenges or doing the battle pass. And if I remember correctly, I believe I counted like 39 or something like in the free battle pass for shards, and that's only if you max it out, and that's if someone is going to be playing this game enough to reach 100. And then, you know, you only have access to like 2 shards for like 3 weeks, and then 1 shard every week if you complete the challenges. But the worst part is most of the challenges I've noticed the ones that are locked by shards are locked behind, oh, you must have, Galena and do this ability a couple times to earn this. And it's like, not people are going to have these champions. So it just felt completely wrong and frustrating that they would do it. I would think that they should add a system to where you earn a shard like every 2 level ups for a couple of levels or something. Although granted, the battle pass is just that. But I also think you should earn shards, from a couple of matches. Like you earn, complete all 3 of the daily challenges for the, all 3 dailies. Like, get an impressive, win a match, whatever like that. You get a free shard. If they did something like that, that would be at least nice, or something of the sort, because making it feel like you have to spend money for players that might not be spending money is not a good idea. You should have players wanting to spend it, not feel like they have to spend it. And that's a lot of problems with a lot of games that I've experienced over time. Like, nothing against games like League of Legends. I enjoy League of Legends, but League of Legends has a problem of it taking a long-ass time to buy people you want. Now, granted, it does have, I think it's like 5 or 10 weekly free rotation, so it's not like you're completely backed out, but it does mean if there's a character you really, really liked and then the rotation's over, then you're stuck to playing with someone you don't know until you spend money on that one character, But at least in Warframe's case, to bring up that, they at least did things that make it feel like you don't have to spend a damn dime. That the only thing you're spending is your time. And the fact that Platinum is tradable between other players, you can just, get some Prime items, trade for Platinum, then use the Platinum to buy slots without spending $1. And that's something that I've not seen any other game do since. Now, I loved Quake Champions, and I still vehemently do love this. But I also know for a fact that this game is going to die at the end of the year, as much as I don't want to admit that, but I have to. I have to admit that. Unless somehow the developers and Bethesda can pull themselves out of their ass in some way after the Fallout 76 situation, and I know the devs have nothing to do with it, but they could get this attention more. But, it's hard to say. They had a boost of 17,000 players at the peak during June after E3, but their average count has been dropping every single month from 2,400 in July to just 688 in February. And that sucks. And granted, I was someone who didn't play this for 2 months after the update dropped. And I'm kind of playing it now, trying to unlock as much as I can of this battle pass, but they have to do something, because they're going to fall off the map. And the thing that scares me is I'm terrified that this is going to make them not make another Quake game. That we probably won't see maybe a remake of the original Quake or an HD remake of Quake 2, although I really don't want them messing with any of those old properties, but that's just my opinion. But I'm just worried about the brand of the Quake brand itself no longer going to happen, because in Bethesda's eyes as a AAA studio, it's not profitable. And that's going to hurt. Especially someone like me who's been a massive id Software fanatic for the longest time, although mostly of old id, and I'm just terrified of Quake just going on the wayside. I'm worried about Doom Eternal. As much as I'm excited for it, the fact that you can only buy it through the Bethesda launcher, last time I checked, and most people don't want to deal with another launcher, just like the whole situation with Metro Exodus and Division 2, 2 games I won't also be playing because I don't want to deal with Epic Games launcher. I'm just worried what is going to happen. And that's a whole different talk to go into, the whole situation with AAA and the fact that Activision, EA, and Ubisoft and shit has just been really, really bad, but I'm just worried that this is going to kill off brands that I love so much. But there's not much I can do as a consumer. I just hope they listen. I just hope Bethesda and the id Software and the other crew members who are working on this game actually fucking listen, including the community manager that does their live streams. They need to fix their netcode. They need to figure out a way to make it so it doesn't feel like players are strong-armed to spending real fucking money just to buy champions that you are forcing behind. And they need to do more with just the game itself. because I would love this to thrive. I would love to see this on a 5,000, 10,000 player average at least. But with this gaming climate, that probably won't happen. Most people don't seem to be interested. Either, veterans are just quitting the game day one, and new players are not interested because it's not, it's not a gameplay that they're used to. They're not used to this idea of having to pick up health or having to pick up armor just to stay alive or having to pick up your weapons around. And it sucks, but, games change all the time. I mean, if you look at what games used to be in the 80s to the 90s and so on, it happens. But I want Quake Champions to survive, and it probably won't. Sorry to say that. But I just wanted to get my mind out there for today. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a wonderful day and take care.